It was also probably the fact that he had 1-1 upgrades at the time that also made it so that he was able to be victorious in that. If you look at the units lost tab, 5,025 to 2,775, so almost double the amount of total resources lost on my side. Never a good position to be in. I do end up sending one little zealot around, just try to do a little scouting, and it looks like he is going to decide to get his third expansion down here. I myself am clearing off the rocks right here so I can build an expansion here. I was going to originally put one here at the high yield expansion, but as you can see, he was pushing forward on that and taking a chance of getting that destroyed and losing all my resources would not be a good situation. Now I did scout, saw that he had a base down here. Just sent my zealot home just because I don't really want him to die if he doesn't have to. You know, he does fight for ire, which is always noble, but yeah, don't really need to die if he doesn't need to. Now looky here, this is something different. We got a Stargate and oh, what's this here? Fleet beacon. Oh shit, what's this here? Mothership. I decided to go ahead and give a little mothership practice. It's very, very odd you'll see a mothership used in the game. Mostly you'll use it for the recall ability it's got. It uses 100 energy and called total or mass recall, excuse me. What you do is you'd fly into somebody's base and use mass recall and they would all pop in the base. I just got it, just trying to mess around with it, try to see if I could fit it in with my playstyle to see if it could be beneficial for me in tournaments or just in any type of game. So let's go try a little different approach this time instead of just doing mass stalker, mass zealot, and whatnot you have there. Oh, we have a little zealot on zealot action here. Mine was there at the location first. His came up to me, and it looks like mine actually survived. Whoever gets that first hit, and of course usually is the victor. Now he's dropped a lot more gateways over here. 5 more gates combined with what he's got here. He's got a total of 9, or it looks like 10 actually. So he's going to be able to resupply his army very quickly if he needs to. I myself have, well, 9. So 9 gates to 10 gates. Staying almost identical in terms of builds. We are both chrono boosting out our upgrades. I'm of course working on my zealot charge as well because very effective. It worked for him, so hopefully it'll work for me. He of course has this observer here, so the observer does see what's going on. He has a vastly superior army right here, 191 to 173. And he's got 5 Colossus. And we come in here, and I'm actually going to vortex those in. So I do end up cutting his army in half because the vortex lose my mothership in the process. But I'm able to clear up most of these stalkers. He tries to run in here before that goes away. Now I've spread out my units a little bit just so that they don't get splash damage from his Colossus. And then I'm going to come in here and just try to shoot as many of them as I can. Now even though my army was way, way weaker than his was at that point, I was, because of that vortex, I was able to get a good surround, get a lot of splash damage from my Colossus, and you know, was able to come out victor on that. Now I'm getting a little over cocky here. Of course he's got charge locks. Charge locks will destroy my Colossus. So what I instead do is I leave my stalkers here to get destroyed and run my Colossus home. Because I'd rather lose 4 or 5 stalkers than lose 2 Colossus. Let's see what this is. SFW, excuse me. Acid is going to be my next opponent in the preliminary round of the tournament that I'm in. So he's just saying what's up, how's it going, and apparently he's excited. So I'll just be nice to him and say me too. Now I am going to finally start to move down here. He's got again a much stronger army than I do, and I'm going to have to back out. Fortunately I'm able to separate some of the units there, but having more charge lots than anything, and he's able to just completely decimate my army. And then again, I'm going to end up running away with my one little Colossus. Let's look at the supply count though, 101 to 108. We're going back and forth for the most part. I've lost 15,450 minerals worth. He's lost 13,575, so not too different from each other. And it looks like he's working on his +3, yeah, his final upgrades for his ground, and so am I. Almost identical. And he's saying Joe's pretty BM, and usually he's not. Something else might have went down with that. But going back to the game in hand, of course I have charge lots. I think I have a couple more than he does. He does have a lot of sentries here using Guardian Shield. I unfortunately have no energy to use Guardian Shield myself. But Colossus just roast away sentries. Just roast them away. Now he's got 4 Colossus to my 2. But I'm at home field advantage. Do have another one coming in. Do have my charge lots coming in finally. And I'm able to close the gap with those charge lots. As you can see, if you can get them in there, they can just annihilate. Especially with the 2-2 upgrades, soon to be 3-3. You know, there's no comparison. Watch, they'll continue to charge around here. And eventually just destroy that Colossus. So now if you look at the supply discrepancy again, 123 to 122. Say maybe, because I really don't want to do a spoiler on on the actually match itself. But we're doing pretty good, and it looks like he's actually mustered up a little bit of army. He's going to come into one of my expansions at the exact same time I'm going to come into his. But the good thing about mine is I'm actually able to attack some of his warping in units, as of course they're warping in, and just roast those away. Now I do end up trying to move my probes away. I have a few units up here to protect my base, but this could be nothing compared to what he has there. I do end up, of course, probably destroying that a little bit there. Now the good thing about it though, this is a problem sometimes if you leave, if you build production facilities in your expansions, you get them destroyed, then you're not going to have the production facilities. Now he does have a really good army over here. I've got yet another mothership, just trying to buy myself some time before, you know, I have to go back in and I end up going through these probes, and they end up getting just obliterated. Now, of course, as you can see, I got the high yield expansion built. He's trying to focus it down. I cannot let that go unchecked. If I have him destroy that, then basically I'd be done. But for the most part, I have like, I don't know, 12, 13 charge lots there, so I'm able to close the gap here. And I'm going to bring my mothership in to protect against the Zealots for just a moment, and become the victor on that one. Now we do end up trading base for base on that. I end up trying to go for like a high yield expansion. He decides to go for an expansion over on the left. The difference being, I have absolutely no harvesters. During that engagement, he was able to destroy 63 of my harvesters. I could have probably run them this way. More than likely, he still would have caught me because of the blink. Yeah, I have 2 harvesters now. So, not in good shape for me. I unfortunately don't have anything to work with. 4 to 34, big difference. That's always a good thing too as well. Keep a little bit of harvesters in check. Now I know I'm hurting very bad because of the harvesters that just got rocked. So I've got to do something here. And I see the observer here. And I say, too bad I can't kill that OBS. Because I see him right there. Of course he LOLs at that because he knows I can't kill it. Now he does have a little bit of an army here. I have 3 Colossus though, which we'll end up doing a little better. Now we do end up engaging, but I was able to vortex every single one of his units. Now I do spread out my Colossus. This is what you want to do. Spread them out a little bit. Put my Zealots in here so then they can charge right when it comes up. And spread out, you'll be able to get splash damage on here, but I won't take splash damage from his. So as you can see, he just got roasted and has to back up. He lost every single sentry just about, except for 2. And he's going to be losing the rest of his army. Now he's going to try to get a couple Phoenix out here so that, you know, he'll be able to take out the mothership a little bit better. And doesn't end up getting 2 of the Phoenix out. And as you can see, I'm coming in here trying to destroy the little units we have here. Using my mothership stuff to take out the, as you can see, the Phoenix. But unfortunately, I'm not going to have enough to actually kill all these Phoenix, as you can see. Now, I could have tried to run away, but the problem is, Phoenix are much faster than motherships are, so I would have been caught regardless. Might as well try and kill as many of them as I can. And I didn't expect him to actually put in a couple of stalkers here, which he wisely warped him in, and was able to actually chase that mothership down, so yet another mothership destroyed. But during that time frame, as you can see, I was able to get the high yield up and going. I have plenty of gas at the moment, so I was not at all focused on, and nor did I care about actually getting geysers, mainly just getting minerals. He's, of course, got this fully saturated and up and going. I probably should have checked it out, but not too worried. Even though he's got a very high harvester count on me, as you can see, the mineral count is almost identical. That's because I'm getting more minerals per trip because of the high yield expansion here. And it allows me to eventually get yet another expansion because, you know, I'm getting more minerals much quicker. Supply count, almost identical again, 56 to 56, that's what I'm talking about. Back and forth, we're staying pretty close to each other. Main reason why I've won a few of my engagements is because of the motherships, but he's won probably the majority of the battles. If you look now though, 29,025 resources he's lost to my 25,650. So it's finally coming into my favor, and I do decide, of course, to warp in a couple zealots right here to move around, do a little scouting. And I'm not really too worried about pros so much. I really care more about seeing if he's doing anything, building anything else, and checking about anything that might be over there. Now, he does end up warping 5 zealots in here, which could easily take my 2, as you can imagine. So I'm going to decide to run them away. What I do at the same time is I don't want to lose these zealots. Even though it's only 2 zealots, I'd rather not lose them if I don't have to. So I'm going to move my army over here to hopefully assist these guys. Do lose the 1, but was able to, they ended up losing 2, but I was able to catch 5. So I lost 2 zealots to his 5. I'll take that any day for the most part. Supply discrepancy 77 to 67. Harvester count, he's 14 ahead of me. Basically focused solely on building harvesters and getting another expansion going. So if I'm able to mine from 2 different locations, then it'll work more to my advantage. I did scout, of course, the high yield expansion. Excuse me. So I really want to kill that before it gets up and going. Now he does have the Phoenix, so you can try to use the Phoenix to focus down my Colossus, which they'll do a great amount of damage, especially if they keep moving around. But what I do is I block off his army, and then I go and kill the Phoenix, and I re-engage. I have things, of course, that can shoot the air. He did some pretty good damage to my unit, but he wasn't able to actually kill anything. Ended up forcing the cancel on that Nexus, so now it's basically a matter of time before I'm able to build up a decent enough army and push out. Supply discrepancy 97 to 55. He is, of course, mining off this only 1 base. And keep in mind, he lost 6 or 7 of those gateways when I attacked over here. So sometimes building placement does help a little bit more to your advantage. But as you can see right now, I got a lot of sentries. It looks like I probably got about 11 of those, 3 Colossus, 5 Stalkers, and 8 Zealots. To basically his 5 Zealots and 3 Stalkers. Now he's going to try and chrono boost out a lot of Void Rays. If he can get the Void Rays up and going, he can do a lot of damage. First focus down, of course, my Stalkers, then probably the sentries, and then he could easily take out the Colossus there. But I don't believe he's got any upgrades for his air units. They're sitting at standard damage. Now they do, of course, do 10 damage to armored units, but it takes them a while to charge up, so he has to keep them alive long enough for them to charge it up. If you look at the harvester count now, 46 to 37. Even though I had absolutely none at one point, since I had the high yield, I was able to hold mine, and that's the reason why I'm standing right here and protecting it. I was able to get enough units, or enough money to start building a lot more harvesters. Now I do finally decide to push out. He's got 3 Void Rays, a handful of other units here, Guardian Shield on my units just to make sure that they can survive as long as possible. And of course I'm going to focus fire each of these Void Rays down, don't want anything to happen to there. And that actually does force the GG. So hope you guys enjoyed this game. It was a great game to play, back and forth through the entire thing. He destroyed a lot of my stuff, I destroyed his. But ultimately, you try to hold out as long as you can, keep your scouting up, and you can get the high yield expansion. It favors you so quickly if they go against a regular one. So, hope you guys enjoyed it, and look forward to the next one.